is passable. We definitely can do better. Utilities are at 100%. Of course, they've got Jimmy Ingram that's been doing that for 20-something years, but that is what I'd like to see us is up to at least 100%. But this is just for your all's information to kind of take a look at it. He will be here next Wednesday, and I'm hoping at that time to get a little bit of an idea as to what maybe our cost might be.
We only have a few short weeks to implement some of these.
Well, it won't matter on this, is what he said, yeah. I was hoping.
Motion to dismiss?
Yes.
Well, I think, were you gonna,
Yeah, is this the?
Yeah, I'm gonna count it.
public comment?
Public comment?
Okay. All right. I'm Dr. Chancellor Wayne. I'm a owner of a business here in town. I'm a landowner here in town. Wards 1 and 4 are the districts that I'm in. I've learned more over the past 2-3 weeks with a lot of Diane's help and reading city minutes, and learned to find out that whoever came up with the language to write a city ordinance had to be very sadistic, because sitting there with all the these and thous and those, and I mean, sitting there as a layperson trying to read one of them things is hard. But I'm up here inviting all those that are not on the street committee for coming up to the meeting that's next Tuesday at 5:30, right in here. Bill Palmer, Noble Shaver, and Ken Wilson are on there. I know with the new change of the regime here and everything, there may be some new ones. So the issue that is at hand is, just like John was talking, looking at Kennett in your entranceway. If you look at Kennett from 3 out of the 4 ways, that's pretty decent. If you happen to come in from Arkansas on the rector side, you're looking at trash. So with that, I've done some digging and looking at where Councilman Wheeler, at the time was Mayor Wheeler, made the statement in the city council where the shoulders on St. Francis are deemed city responsibility from May 2011. And according to, from Diane through Mr. McVeigh here, the shoulders on St. Francis are city responsibility. I've talked with MoDOT. They sent me a letter saying that no, they're responsible from white line to white line. They do not take care of the deeded property from the white line to the deeded property. That is city responsibility. After pulling plots of different businesses up and down, it's been really educated to figure out that, hey, well, on the south side, from the center of St. Francis over south, 30 feet is where my property starts. But if you go on the other side, it's 31 feet. Why? I don't know. But it's still, the shoulder work up and down through there, the flooding that happens, the potholes, the with the south bypass and the detour that's getting ready to happen, where they're going to send people up Highway O, around North Bypass, down Independence, out towards 55. That's not going to happen. You guys know that as well as I do. They're going to come right up there to the 4-way. They're going to hang a right and go right through the middle of town. So for the next 6 to 9 months, the traffic flow in the middle of town is going to be tremendously worse. Because when they start shutting it down to 1 lane, those 18-wheelers, trucks, trailers, everything else is going to be full. So at this meeting, we've got a lot of questions. The first one's been answered of who owns that property. Now then, in that same article back from March 2011, they said there was money allocated that was approved. But I grabbed the next 2 council meetings minutes, and nothing was brought up. I mean, I thought that some of it, I mean, you guys have a little bit of an interesting job where you get some of these letters where someone asks for a city ordinance to, make people pull their pants up. I mean, I thought that was pretty good, but you can't make the whole city do something like that. But it's still, I'm still doing more digging, trying to bring to the meeting, where did that money go? If it was a 20% is all the city had to come up with, where did it go? Did it go from grants to allocation? Did it make it out of allocation? Did it make it from allocation to us? But according to Roger, who I was hoping that would be here, but I'd really like to extend the invitation for him to be at that meeting, because he is council, Ward 4, and this is one of the ward, I mean, it's his ward. Where did he go to? And so, I've spoken with every single business from, basically, Mike Fox down to 84 Motel. And they have all agreed, except for one, he's gonna be out of town, to be at this meeting next Tuesday. And so, whether you're on the street committee, whether, James, you're in Ward 1, if you're thinking of what committees you wanna be on the street committee. I mean, this is gonna be a good one for, we've got a lot of questions, and we really would like to come away with some answers. And that's one of the things that we want to know. And there's, with the transportation tax, there's a lot of money there. Instead of spreading it out, how about making some of the areas that look the worst, priority-wise? You got businesses flooding out, you got people bottoming out their cars, breaking off bumpers, going into businesses, tearing up wheels. So, on all these, on city property. So, what do we fix? So at this meeting next week, hopefully we can come away, because as I in-depth and read, I get one question answered and I come up with another one. And just like one of my aspects is I went and I talked with Jan McGrath, and she said that the properties on that end of town were classified, now this wording may be wrong, but it was basically as derelict property several years ago. And was that pulled off? Because if something like 2009 came in and FEMA went through and looked and said, well, the classification was done for that so that there was grant money out there to help improve that area of town. So I can understand the reasoning for it, but when did that happen? When did it get repealed? Because that may have happened and gone off before or after some of the people's times here on the board. So I mean, like I said, there's a lot of questions out there that we're gonna bring up, and again, hopefully a lot of them can be answered, but then again, hopefully we can walk away with a lot of answers. And so for all those that are new on the board, plus those that are not on the street department, then please come, and we can try and get a lot of these questions answered. Because making the town look good, just like John's saying here, who wants to hog-tie Mr. Brevling's hands whenever he has to bring a client in that's looking at a piece of property here in town, and under construction, they understand. Nice entrances, they understand. But they come from the rector aspect, like, wow, somebody doesn't take care of this in the town. And so that's what we're looking for. So I appreciate all that could attend, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday at 5:30.
Thank you, Mr. Wade, for your comments. Anything else? You want to make a motion?
Motion.
Motion, second?
Second.
All right, we're dismissed.